Hey everybody, it's me, the Running Geek, back with another episode of Let's Play Minecraft Pocket Edition. Yep, I'm still Steve, and yep, custom skins are still broken in Pocket Edition. But that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's just hard to recognize me. So the first thing that I wanted to get started off with was in last episode I had asked you guys about the paths, and we were kind of focusing in on the width of the path. And I gave you two options. One was 3 blocks wide, the other was 5 blocks wide. And believe it or not, the overwhelming majority, in fact 100% of you, voted for 3 blocks wide. So that's what we are going to be going with, is the 3 block wide path. And you know, I was really hesitant at first, but you guys voted for it, so we'll make it happen. But I think it's going to work out great. I think that's going to put our buildings a little bit closer together and make our world a little bit more immersive. And, you know, it'll be easier to run in between buildings as well. So, in between episodes, oh my word, you guys, I have been hard at work. I've put in a lot of time. So, what you're seeing now is the view from the workshop opening to the northwest, where our bulk storage silos are going to go. And we've been talking about this for the past couple of episodes, that a lot of terraforming is going to need to happen. And so let me fade that picture out and show you what it looks like now. Yeah, almost all the way to the fog. Everything has been leveled out. This has all been filled in. Again, we're taking the river level that's over in that direction, and you can see I've torn all of this out as well, because this used to be about 4 blocks higher. It used to be a large hill, so that's all been taken out. In fact, most of that dirt has gone over to this area as well. Okay, and it looks like it's gonna rain and interrupt our little progress here. So let me go to sleep and get rid of this rain. Okay, well, now that the rain is gone, I can talk in peace a little bit. I know that it definitely gets annoying to listen to, especially if you're on headphones or on a mobile device. But real quickly, I have dug away this grass and dirt right here, and that's mainly gone over into this area. So let me show you how I'm kind of working this. I'm doing this in kind of a grid pattern. But we'll come down here. This level right here that we're on is now the minimum level that we want any of the farm buildings or anything on. So the river is going to be 4 blocks below this. This is currently roughly about 3 blocks high. So the river is 1 block lower. But we want the banks of the river to be about 4 blocks high. So everything has to be a minimum of 4 blocks high from the river. So, and that's what this is. So, and I've been filling this in solid. So this is all solidly filled with dirt. Mainly because when I build and that sort of thing, what I don't want to do is I don't want to fall through, you know, a 1 block like layer, and then have to fall through again. So I've cut out these mountains, I've cut down trees. I have just been really busy. And this terraforming job right here is taking about 8 hours. To fill in. A lot of it has to do with some planning as well for the time that it's taken. But if we go over here, let me just show you, you can kind of see I've kind of stopped here as well. So there's a wall, and eventually we'll get this terraformed all the way back. Again, this is the minimum level. So we need to fill all of this in with dirt. We need to cut that mountain and hillside out. And again, we'll have some undulations and some terrain changes and that sort of thing. But for the most part, it's not going to be any higher than the workshop here. The workshop is the highest part of the farm. So everything is going to kind of flow into that. So kind of crazy, just a lot of work, but really happy with the way this has turned out. The other thing this is going to do is it's going to make the project that we have coming up extremely easy. So yeah, so let's get started. I did gather a bunch of resources as well for our current project. So you can see I've got a bunch of glowstone, a bunch of stone and wood. And what else do I have? Cobble and smooth stone again, and redstone, and then of course there's my tools and stuff. So I think I'm pretty well set for the project. One other thing I wanted to mention is I am almost completely out of dirt and grass. So I've taken from my bulk storage over at the modern house where we did our mining from. I've taken all the dirt from the chests in the modern house. I've taken the dirt from in here. I had a shulker box full of dirt. All of it is gone. So just a crazy amount of dirt in here. And let me go take you up here, and so you can kind of get a bigger picture or bigger view of kind of what this area looks like. And this is perfect. This is exactly what we need for our silo in bulk storage project. So let's get started. What we need to do is we need to figure out how these silos are going to work and kind of what the layout should be. And so the first thing that I think of, with silos, obviously they're going to be these tall silos. And let me put a picture on screen right now of a typical farm silo or series of silos and how they look. And so, they're usually, and they're used for bulk storage of seeds and grains and that sort of thing. And so in Minecraft, if we want to use those as storage, what we need to do is we need the items to come from the top of the silo and work their way down to actually fill the silo. Just like a normal silo would be in the real world. So we've got to fill it from the top. What that is going to require is an item elevator. Now, we could work this a couple of different ways. We could have the item elevator inside of each of the silos, and then the sorting system is like underground. Or we could have one designated silo that is used as an item elevator, and that pushes all of the items to top, and then the items will flow through the top of the silos, through the basically the chain of silos into their various silo for storage. And I think we're going to go with the latter, because an item elevator, if you've seen my overhaul video for how item elevators can work in PE, they're very resource intensive, and I don't want to use that many resources on that many item elevators, because again, we're going to have 15 silos, guys. And right now each silo is only going to store one item, and it's probably going to be anywhere from 18 to 20 double chest each of a particular item. And we might be even able to expand that to maybe it could store 3 items. I don't know. We'll see. But what we do require is that for our item elevator, it does require a width of 7. It's a 7 by 7 area that we actually need. And so that's going to be a little bit big. Let's go up here. And again, these silos are going to be in circles. So let's get up here and just kind of think this out. So on screen is a rough draft of kind of what I'm thinking from a top view of the silo storage area. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I think that what we'd want to do is we'd want the item elevator or the larger silo to be right here, and then we'd have a line of silos going that way, a line of silos going that way, and a line of silos going that way. So they're all going to head in that same direction. And the reason that we're doing that is because we have to think about the configuration and how the items are going to travel from silo to silo, because we don't want to make that too complex. So let's see if we can get kind of going on based off of our pathing here. We want 2 blocks from the building to the path, and then we want 3 blocks and then 2 blocks to building. So we want the silo to start probably somewhere right around there, I'm guessing. Oh, and it looks like it's time to sleep again. Okay, so I think with this circle, what we don't want to do is we probably don't want a radius of 7 because we want to add a little bit of extra room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a circle that can have it's a 9 block radius. So we're going to go out 5, out 2, and then we come back 2, and then we go out 5. So just like that, and then we'll go out 2, and then we'll come into, and then we'll go out 5. Just like that, and kind of doing this quickly here so we can get on the roof. We just need to get the starting point, and then I think we'll be good for a layout here. But let's see, 2, 2, and then 2 that way, perfect. And then with the center roughly right there, perfect. All right, so let's get back on the roof. Now what I want to see is if this is too close. Okay. So that looks good, and we're going to have the first line of silos kind of, so we're at the edge of the workshop here, just trying to plan this out from a view standpoint too. Because again, I don't want all these buildings just in straight grids. Typically, even from the plan that I had from the farm, everything is just in a straight grid, and I really don't want that. Now, some things are going to have to be straight. But I don't necessarily want everything just in a grid format. I think that looks good. The next thing that we do have to decide is kind of how. I think what we can do is if we keep this. If we keep this silo in line, now the silos are going to be smaller than this 9 block thing, because we're going to have to dig this probably all the way down to bedrock, and as we plan the underground of the farm, it'll depend on how deep this goes. So that might be a thing here, but let's see. Let's see here. I just want to, the silos are going to be smaller in circles, but we also don't want to make them so small that we don't have enough room to work in them. Because I am worried about the sorting system. The sorting system requires at least, 5 blocks in order to operate. So we need a 5 block space. So, and this is going to give us 7, which is going to be really tight, especially when we're talking about chests and that sort of thing. Okay, so let's just, that looks okay. And then how far apart do we want these silos? We probably don't want them too far because we don't need a 3-path. We don't need a 3-path, a 3-block path in here, in between the silos, which is nice. Because that's only of our main path, so it does leave us a little bit of an option here. Now, I am using netherrack as well. I typically will use netherrack or a block that's not in the biome as my planning block, just so that I can get a feel for, kind of a layout and that sort of thing. So if I'm looking at a bird's eye view, we can get a good look at this. Okay, so let's go back up here to the roof. Ooh, that was cool. So we want to plan out where the third row of silos is going to go. And the reason this is important is because on each of the sides that are exposed to the path, that's going to be where the loading and unloading, so you can actually get those items, and then also see there's going to be an indicator of how full the silo is. And so those are going to be on each of the path sides so you can easily see. So I think we want our third set over here. So let's go over here. And again, according to our path guidelines, we want it 2 away from the building. And that's where the path is going to start. So let's do that. There's the path. And then that is where the actual silo can start. So, and I think we're just going to want these all in line, because from the pictures that I've seen, to be kind of more efficient in your silo storage, in real life with the farms and stuff, they have all of these in line with each other. And I think that's so that, number one, they don't have to, if they're connected, they don't have to travel as far. So let's come out here. And so they don't have to use as much piping in transportation and that sort of thing. 3, 4, 5, and then 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll finish that up right there. Okay, so that looks good. Let's take one more look. And okay, so you would come down walking through here, and of course it's gonna rain again. Man, it's been raining a lot, but that's okay. So this is it's perfect segue, because I will get the rest of this laid out here and then join you when I have it laid out. Alright, so I got the layout done, and I want to quickly go over that with you before we start building our first silo. So again, this is going to be the item elevator, and what I've done is I've connected all of the circles together, because that's going to be the chain of hoppers and how they're going to flow. So they're going to flow from the item elevator here, then they're going to come into the first silo, which we're going to build today. Then that's going to flow on to the next, to next, to next, etc. That goes over here, up this row, and down that row. So required a little bit of planning there. Now, what I also did was I put the white wool where I want the main path to actually be. So there's going to be a path on either side. So I think that's going to look pretty good. But let's get started building. Okay, so we are down here. This is where the first silo is going to be built, and it's the first one in the chain of silos. And I'm doing this one first, obviously, because it's the first one in the chain, but also so that we don't have to build all the others. We can complete this one and maybe get one of the farms complete or something like that, and have bulk storage. So we're going to do that. So we're going to build that right here. Now here is a palette. I've moved all the project boxes and everything over here just to make it simpler. But I want to go through kind of the palette, because I have a very good idea of what I want to do, and I have a pretty good vision in my mind about how I want the silo to work. So we're going to use cobblestone and polished andesite in the foundational work. So the cobblestone will be used below ground, and the andesite, the polished andesite, will be used above ground for foundation. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use these smooth stone slabs as like reinforcers or kind of brace points. And you'll kind of see how that works. And then for the main pieces of the silo, we're going to use brick, mossy brick, cracked brick, and then also regular andesite. And the reason that I chose to do stone was, so most modern day silos are built out of some sort of metal, like aluminum. I can't even, maybe like back in the olden days, they were made out of tin, that sort of thing. But there are very few that are made out of wood, and although I'd like the body of the silo to be wood just to give some contrast, it really doesn't quite make sense. So the next best thing, since we don't really have metal in Minecraft, would be stone. And way back when, they used to make some silos out of stone, and even windmills and granaries and that sort of thing are made out of stone, so it seemed to make sense. So we're going to use a combination of all these three. Now the main focus will be that stone brick, but we'll give some accents with the other blocks as well. Then we're also going to have some braces, and you'll see how those work in the corners with stone fences, and then also dark oak fence. And then for the top or the dome portion of the silo, we're going to be using stone brick slabs, and then also dark oak. Now, one of the other things I was thinking that we could use is, is also some chiseled, and just as some decoration on the, let me take this off, on the roof as well. So something kind of like that, and then we would have a stone slab on top. Okay, so something kind of like that. So, so that's kind of the main color palette. And then, of course, we've got the indicator for the bulk storage and how that storage is going to work and those things. So instead of kind of doing this like more like a tutorial build, which I tend to do, I thought I'd try something different and do just a time lapse of this build, and then we'll come back afterwards and I'll kind of walk you through it. All right, well, now that we've got the silo built, I wanted to kind of take you around and just point out a couple of things. So even after the time lapse was done, I spent about another hour or so on the interior and the exterior as well, just kind of wrapping things up. So I want to bring you around. The first thing I did was with the walls, I kind of aged them. So I put some cracked brick in there, some smooth stone just to make it kind of look worn. Also added some mossy stone brick in there as well. And then if you do spot a piece like up here, there is some andesite, kind of hard to tell. It makes it look a little bit more weathered. I also put buttons on the side here. I think that adds kind of a nice, they kind of look like rivets, as those are kind of the, what do I want to say? Those are kind of the, the kind of like reinforced section of the silo. So those are the rings that go all the way around. And then with the indication system, so the way this indication system is going to work is when the first double chest fills up, that light will turn on, the next one, and so on. And we have 15 lights. So we don't have one in the middle, but when you get all the way to the top there, that would indicate that we have 18 double chests of whatever is in this silo. In this silo, we're going to do wheat. So that would be 18 double chests plus all of the hoppers, and I'll show you the inside how that looks. But I didn't want the redstone lamps just visible, so I thought I would cover those with trapdoors, and I think that looks all right. I think from let's look at it from afar here. I think that looks pretty good. I like it that you can't necessarily tell that they're redstone lamps, because I don't think the redstone lamps are the prettiest block in the world. And they're not bad, but they don't really fit the theme. So then on the inside, as the sun is setting, on the inside, I did get some of the bulk storage system done. Let's see, I got 4, and there's 8 chests. So I've got about 10 chests to go up to the top. And it is currently functional, so the redstone lamps will turn on if the double chest is full. So I've got that piece of it, and we're just using a comparator. So if this chest is full, then there will be an item in that comparator. Once there's an item in that comparator, then the redstone lamp, which is that one right there, will turn on. And that's kind of the way that operates. So kind of cool, I think it turned out pretty good, and yeah, so that is a silo. Let me sleep real quick. I don't know what I was thinking about making 15 of these, but you know, it's gonna be cool, but it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be really resource intensive. A lot of resources went into just making one, so I can't imagine making 15. One thing I did want to show you guys real quick, let me go to the roof here and get up on the roof so I can kind of show you how the feed system is going to work for the silo. So right up top there, you can see where the chiseled block used to be. You can see some hopper sticking out. That's where the hopper line for the items is going to come into play. So that will be pretty cool. And I think for next time, what we'll do is we'll kind of design how that's going to look like from the outside. So, because I don't want just a line. Actually, I can go over there. I just don't want a line of hoppers that is visible. So I want to kind of make it look like they're meant to be connected and that sort of thing. Well, we got a lot done in today's episode. I think we're going to call a day there. Many hours just went into not only terraforming this land. Let's take a look at this. Oh my word, that is awesome. That is so cool. You can see the grass starting to fill in over there. But yeah, this episode was a lot of work. Obviously, I'm not going to do each of the silos on camera. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. And I just threw an ender pearl. I wonder where I'm going to end up. Excellent. Awesome. Over there. Oh, that's cool. Look at that view. You know, that could be the screenshot. That's really cool. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.